A lot of things come to mind when you mention Scotland. The ancient city of Edinburgh, the Highlands, men in kilts, golf, and even whiskey. In our week in Scotland, we try to see all that and more. Come along for a bit of our adventure, and stay tuned at the end for some tips for those of you who want to see the country yourselves. We start off in the capital city of Edinburgh. Edinburgh is mostly known for its Royal Mile, which extends from the Royal Palace of Holyrood to the Edinburgh Castle at the top of the hill. Along the way, you can also see a variety of churches, pubs, statues, and souvenir shops. You might even be able to get a wee dram of whiskey, or perhaps try some haggis. Unfortunately, it was very foggy when we went to visit the castle, so the breathtaking views of Edinburgh below will have to wait for another day. After that, we headed out to the country, first stopping off at the famous Stirling Castle, about an hour's drive west of Edinburgh. The castle dates back to at least the 12th century and has long served as both a fortress and home of the Scottish royal family, including Mary, Queen of Scots. It also overlooks the city of Stirling, as well as the location of the famous Battle of Stirling Bridge, somewhat depicted in the movie Braveheart. You can also see the monument to William Wallace in the distance. As far as the movie goes, though, while it is a fun movie, our guide said, the only thing they got accurate about William Wallace was his name. While there, you can tour the grounds, see the Great Hall with its grand roof made without a single nail, visit the royal apartments, and see a museum dedicated to the history of the Highlanders and the Army, all the way to modern times. From there, we head west into the Highlands. The road was narrow and windy, but the views around us were breathtaking. We stopped for the night in Fort William on Scotland's west coast. The next morning, we decided to catch a train, the Jacobite steam train to be specific, which runs twice daily from Fort William to Malé. It is familiar to many from the Harry Potter movies. From there, we headed off to the Isle of Skye, but first, Kayra got to see some Highland cows. And I posed by Eileen Donan Castle, as seen in the movie Highlander. Our favorite thing about the Isle of Skye was the stunning natural beauty. Everywhere you looked was a rugged mountain, a waterfall, or a verdant green valley. We especially enjoyed the Fairy Glen near our hotel in Weeg on the north side of the island. We then headed up a bumpy one-lane road to the very north end of the island, to the Skye Museum of Island Life. It was a recreation of an 18th century village, full of interesting exhibits on the history of the island. Plus, more Highland cows. After that, it was back across the Isle of Skye Bridge to the mainland, and the city of Inverness on the northern coast of Scotland. Situated on the Ness River, it is considered the historic and cultural center of the Highlands. While much smaller than Edinburgh, we enjoyed strolling along the waterfront, enjoying the local food and whiskey. A visit to Inverness would not be complete without a visit to the Culloden battlefield, just outside of town. The battle, fought on April 16, 1746, ended the Jacobite rebellion and resulted in repression of Highland culture for some time. It was quite fascinating to see the battlefield and follow along as our guide explained what took place. My biggest takeaway: don't lead a Highland charge through the middle of a swamp. Also nearby are the Clava Cairns, a collection of ancient standing stones and cairns set up in intricate patterns. Kayra tried unsuccessfully to go back in time. And then finally, we're off to St. Andrews, a university town on the east coast about an hour north of Edinburgh. Although the university is world-renowned and dates back to 1413, the city is most famous as the birthplace of golf, and home to the oldest and perhaps most famous course in the world, the Old Course at St. Andrews. I didn't get to play around, but I did get the opportunity for a photo on the famous Swilcan Bridge. And that's the end of our trip to Scotland. Thanks for following along, and now I'd like to give you our top 3 tips for visiting Scotland. 1. Be careful about driving. While we knew that you drive on the left and planned for that, first of all, make sure you get a car with automatic transmission. We were surprised by the roads. While there are certainly modern 4-lane freeways near the major cities, many Scottish roads are quite primitive by US standards. Roads are narrow, windy, and often have no shoulder at all, ending in a rock wall or drop-off. While I don't normally get the extra rent-a-car insurance, I wish I would have, since more than once we scratched the car by running into things on the side of the road. Fortunately, the damage wasn't so great that we had to pay. I'm not saying you shouldn't drive, as there are many places where it is the only practical way to get there, but be aware of this. It can be a bit stressful for your vacation. 2. Research your hotels. Except in the big cities, the hotels are mostly old, locally run places. Unfortunately, online, it is hard to tell the difference between charming and rundown. Some are memorable for the wrong reason. 3. Plan ahead, but be flexible. Scotland isn't a very big country, it's only 50 miles across, but there's so much to see, and it takes a while to get anywhere. There are literally castles, lochs, glens, quaint villages, pubs, and distilleries every few miles. Make a list of what you want to see, but realize you probably won't catch everything, and you'll find many new things on the way. Thanks for watching, and see you on our next trip.